level. If we wanted a setup for an ace match, this would be it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Random versus Random Chaotic Tournament. $400 in prizes, and of course, spawning here on the top right side of the map. It's going to be the pink Terran Beastie Cutie getting lucky with his main race.
In the bottom left, poor unfortunate Cyril is the red Terran. Well, that's not his main race, but he is GM random, so maybe not so unfortunate.
Well, there's that aspect of it, but there's also bringing up the fact that we talked about he got Zerg 2 times early on. The likelihood of him getting Zerg again was kind of low, just statistically speaking. So this works out nicely for BC, yes, but more importantly, I would love if just by chance the grand finals was TVZ. That would be fantastic for me.
Well, what do you mean?
Either way, either direction.
Do you mean the ace match?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You said the grand finals.
Oh, sorry. I was referring to of this particular best of 5. Excuse me. But
that makes more sense.
Yeah, like whether it's Beastie as Terran and Cyril as Zerg, or if they had reverse main races, right? Like I think either way that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be really funny if they reversed the races. But have we seen that yet?
Rip.
Where
no main race reversals. We've just had main races.
Oh, man. Because then that thing would be funny too, because like the other person would start. They both call each other out on how bad they are. Your Roach Warren's at 415. It's supposed to be at 4.
What the fuck is he talking about? He just walked by the SCV. Is BC? Is he high?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe he thought that Cyril said rip because he was Zerg.
I
didn't actually see the SCV. I don't know.
I guess, yeah, because they ripped it the other way around. It was Beastie coming up against Cyril's Zerg earlier. Now, I guess, all this rip aside, I'm not going to count Cyril out, because there are a lot of ways that you can mess this up as Terran in a TVT. And if BC gets really cocky, like, let's say he saw this and said, oh, you know what, I'm just going to throw in 3 Raxes and, like, laugh my way to victory and then lose the game. That'd be incredibly embarrassing, right? So I'm not going to go that direction with it. But, well, nothing is that extreme. I don't know. I feel like in a perfect whirlwind storm of events, you could see Cyril overcome Beastie and Tank Wars if handled incorrectly.
Yeah, I believe that can happen. But it is going to be difficult to get there. Maybe more looking towards like harassment, getting some free damage would be more likely.
Thank you, by the way, to Lahiwu. Lahiwu. 3-month resub. Yay.
Lahoo.
It's like a little bit of a Mario, like, whoop, ah.
Exactly. The build orders have been chosen. We do have BCQ going for 1 base versus Cyril's 2 base, so it's up to Cyril to defend. This is a very deceiving attack. It'd be kind of funny if Cyril ended up losing to it, but as I said before, he is a pretty damn decent Terran, so it's really not the situation where we've seen anyone go like, what do IDK, what wins? Like, so far, every single programmer we've cast has a very good idea of what to do versus any situation, even if, at the end of the day, they don't perform as well as the guy with the main race. Why is he saying rip?
I don't know, because he lost the fight, I guess? I don't know.
It's not... I mean, it does suck not to be able to abuse the high ground here for BCQD, like start poking at the supply depot and whatnot, but this isn't a push that's designed to end the game. He still has another opportunity to actually do some damage. I guess if that doesn't work, though, the Banshee doesn't do anything, then that's when you're like, okay, I've lost out on the build openers.
Oh, still just kind of keeping an eye on the outside of the base. I guess not having scouting for BC kind of sucks. I'm just going to break everything and check vision. Yeah, he hasn't actually seen the main.
The engineer bay is down. He's actually getting a missile turret, yeah.
Sorry, stream. Score is wrong. Yep. I think one day off of streaming and this happens. I've messed up like 5 things today.
Well, that's why Fear Dragon messed up so badly, so this doesn't look as bad in comparison.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I've not muted us yet, knock on wood. But okay, sorry guys, score's 2-1. I guess, whatever. Locks onto a Reaper, funny enough. It's actually, I didn't realize how fast a Reaper would get outside of range of that Cyclone, but... Anyways, this attack out of BC, what looked a little bit sneaky, hugged the ledge and almost maybe was going to get in, question mark. It definitely did not, and This Banshee could maybe do some damage, which is nice. First one's driven away pretty quick, but two from two different sides, that's going to be hard to keep up with.
Yeah, but there are missile turrets in the main already. Cyril knew it was coming, and this could get a 1 or 2 SCV kills. Marines don't react immediately. Here they go now. In fact, the grenades. Yeah, they have to be careful.
Actually, the Hellions are getting amazing hits on the Marines, by the way. I was going to say, Hellions in any matchup can be incredibly dangerous for moments like this. So this isn't exclusive to Terran. This still happens in Zerg and Protoss, but BC getting some pretty nice damage. Kind of needs to, of course, because he was a little bit behind the workers in the first place.
Yeah, 1 base to 2. You did need to do something here, and the missile turrets going down counts, but certainly actually getting direct SCV kills is better. They're still behind by 5 SCVs, and with no faster third CC, you at least have perhaps the faster production. His barracks go down a little bit sooner than Cyril's.
I have put my camera on you for a moment. My poor cat is drowning in the rain, and I have to lure her inside.
Oh, okay.
So there you go, camera control.
So, of course, the Raven can catch the Banshee now, and that Banshee will go ahead and die. The actual use of a Raven has greatly diminished from Heart of the Swarm, but... cancels through the... or stalls through the barracks. But it is that guaranteed defense against the Banshee, whereas otherwise, like, maybe you make a mistake and they you let the Cyclone die, or you let a tank die, and the Cyclone, in fact, almost does die still. But there go the production again on the barracks, which is quite important, because BC Cuties is already up and running. It's about to be finished. It has actually reacted to go on. And that's what's going to happen. The stim timings are pretty darn similar. BC Cutie with a bit faster of that +1 as well. He has tools to end the game, actually, depending on how Cyril takes his engagements, but he certainly even things up. They both get supply blocked, funnily enough, at the same time. Cyril has a lot of extra cash because he should have thrown down a 3rd command center or 2 extra barracks. Does decide to go for the 3rd command center over production, which means that BC Cutie, okay, now again, it is up to him to do damage, but he has like a really good chance to do damage.
Sorry to set back down. Double tank drops are certainly funny to see. It's the first thing I see upon sitting down. This is if you're not a Terran player, this is something that looks really appealing to you because of, well, the way you've seen it done. However, as a Terran player, you're like, yeah, this is kind of manageable, not that big of a deal.
He does have to target fire the tanks manually as they were just going all over the place. Can't lose them, of course, but this is very dangerous because BC Cutie has his units in the middle of the map. Like, he's trying to deal with the tanks, but he also could have recognized that that's 2 less tanks and 2 less medevacs to defend back at home. And he might have been able to get a good position. He realizes it now, but it's been a while, and BC Cutie now has... or Cyril now has another tank. The medevacs just popped out, too. Now we can defend.
Never would I think to see BC behind in a series like this. Like, this is not behind enough for it to really matter just yet. We've watched enough TBTs to know what behind in a TBT really means. But it's funny to see him like on the scoreboard behind. But as we see, knocking down a refinery, that's a good way to get some free damage.
Yeah.
We'll see if Cyril can shuffle his tanks better than Hydra did. That's actually going to be a pretty important aspect of landing these.
Yeah. So while Cyril is definitely ahead in workers, and he has that 3rd CC so much faster than BC Cutie, he is a little bit down on the army, so he has to be the careful one here. Combat Shields is also farther behind, although not going to affect this fight.
Turns that around pretty quick and pushes that back. I mean, Cyril's really hoping to catch Beastie on the retreat, and that was going to be nice to get a shot or 2 off, but perhaps dedicating just a little too much. Now BC's the one with the army supply elite, still down on workers by a bit, but not by a very super significant amount.
Yeah. That fight was also taken while +1 was in favor of BC Cutie. Now it's evened up, and, well, Cyril still hasn't started combat shields, so his, like, upgrade of +1 armor is going to be all nice and dandy, but combat shields.
He's got stim, right? We're not getting caught up for the same bullshit this time? Like
He does have stim.
Yeah, combat shields is such an influential upgrade. Very unfortunate. BC's Doom Drop at the main might just be a little too much. Cyril's got the tanks in position, and this looks manageable at a glance, but it's really not.
Okay, well, that definitely isn't manageable. We're gonna go to match. There we go.
Yeah, ace match time, baby. And